friends, I'm Delta, and I've got a question for you. Do you like movies? I do. So much that I've actually got my favourite movie here to share with you. Even have it on VHS. That's right, today I'm going to be reviewing the Universal Frankenstein and Transformers collaboration. You might be wondering, why isn't he in the box? He's not in the box because I'm going to review him. That's why. Now, I want to preface this by saying he does not have a official size class on anywhere in the box. I've looked, and it's a bit annoying. But if you want a true size guide of him, he is a Voyager. He has the price of a Voyager, so take that as you will. Now, if you want a true comparison, this is the deluxe class Sideburn. As you can see, Frankentron is a lot bigger. Now, the painting and the sculpting on this figure is amazing. He looks like Frankenstein, and the entire aesthetic, it being kind of haphazard and jank, makes him look even better. Now, out of the box, he does not have his coil cannon on his arm, nor does he have the lightning. Now, I love the lightning, how they did it, but attaching it is a bit finicky because it feels like it has to go in a very specific angle. You do even have like a little bar here, so you could, if you want, you can actually attach it to any hole on him. And now, I know purple on purple is annoying, but it looks like he's showing it out the top of his shoulder turret. What I like to do is I just I put it like this, and then it goes in accordingly. He looks amazing. Here's an issue with most modern Transformers. Wrist articulation. There is none. He cannot move his hand at all. He can only move it like this, and that's more for the transformation. He is pretty thick at the back. He is a chunky boy. You do see different colours of the plastic, maybe because I think that's painted and that's how it usually looks. You have like slight little parts of purple and silver throughout the entire figure. That just works so well with it. Now, when it comes to the actual transformation, it's a little bit finicky when you first get it, but after a while it becomes more intuitive. So what you have to do is remove the cannon, because it's a mainline Transformers figure. The gun comes... Here's the thing, every vehicle mode at this point is parts forming, all because of the weapons. You can't deny it, I can't deny it. Any Transformer at this point is parts forming because of the weapon. So when it comes to the arms, when you have to actually swivel both the hands in and then bend them as far as they can, make them as straight as possible, then open the back up, swivel his head around and push it in, close that ugly mug up, flip the turret over. You see a little bit more detail with the Decepticon logo there. Next, you quite literally rip his arms off, like that, open his chest, and break his back. And that just makes it easier to do the legs when you get to it. So you grab the arm, you have to move the bicep 180 degrees first, then flip it down, and that will peg right into here. If it can. Hey, there we go. Pegs in there. Now, before you do this side, I will recommend doing the exact same steps and getting it partially down. Again, the actual turret. Now, in the instructions it says to put it on this one here, like that. However, this makes it a more flimsy connection. So what I recommend you do is put in the second hole, where there's one on either side, and then when you flip the other arm down, it'll peg into both, and it gives a more solid connection. Then when it comes to the feet, flip them down and you split them off like so. And the legs, you tap together and you straighten out as much as possible. Bring the pelvis up like this. And then you have to kind of swivel these and flex them a little bit. And they will go all the way to the back. And then legs peg into two little tabs right there. You can't see it because it's black plastic and my camera sucks at that. They will plug in. Everything plugs in, and that is the tank mode effectively done. It isn't too difficult to do, and that's saying something because a Voyager class figure you'd usually think would have more steps. So looking at the instructions, there was only 16 steps. Now when it comes to Voyager class figures, you'd expect there to be more, and with certain ones it's usually 30 to 40. When you get 16 steps, that's usually a deluxe class, if not a core class. When it comes to core class, having Shockwave right next to him, you can see just how big he is compared. Now, this is an entire series I'm doing. If you haven't watched the first video where I review Shockwave, please do. I think it's a decent video. Hopefully this one will be better. And when it comes to tank comparisons, you can see just how small Shockwave is compared to Frankentron. Now, he does roll relatively well, but let's be honest, plastic wheels never run well, and they always kind of stick to, you know, the plastic itself. And in terms of other articulation, you've got his little top turret. That just flips around, it doesn't really move anything else. There's actual cannon, can move up and down, and because of that slight connection we've made, it's a lot more sturdier than it would have been if you followed the instructions. You can move down that far and you can look up that far. And what I love is you can actually just grab the lightning and point at any place if it can connect. And because the pelvis moved up to make the legs, that means the entire top of the body has a good rotation, and if you put the lightning like I have now, it just looks like he's just smacking someone with it instead of shooting it directly at you. Now, would this figure be good to get? If you're a fan of the Universal Monster series or Frankenstein in general, then 100% I would recommend this. However, if you only really want a tank, there's a few others that are way more practical and look way more better. Just off the top of my head, Tarn has a really good looking tank mode, and if you're willing to wait a little bit to get it, Megatronus has a beautiful looking tank mode. The figure itself looks amazing as well. A little teaser for the next part. I might do a triple changer. Who turns into a tank? You never know. I wonder who that could be. Remind me to fire my editor because he's not doing a good job. Like the amount of editing that goes into this video, it's not a lot, but even then, my editor is god awful. Like, what does he do? Just look at his hands most of the time.